Hey everybody, and welcome to the PlantStock channel. If we haven't met yet, my name is Jesse, and on this channel we focus on plant-based companies like Beyond Meat, which is one of our favorite companies to talk about, and it's a company that I personally believe has the best chance to make it in the next 10 to 20 years. It is the industry leader. But there are some competition out there. As we know, the whole industry is growing more and more. And probably one of the biggest competition that many people think they have, and at least, besides the animal agriculture industry, is Impossible Foods that hasn't IPO'd yet. But it does seem that they're going to IPO quite soon. We've talked about that in a couple of videos. Make sure you look at them before seeing this. But it does seem that they are growing more and more, right? Now, similar to Beyond Meat, and this is being the only company I would say that does actually stand a chance, is that they do put a lot of R&D into the company and a lot of effort to actually perfecting their meat products, right? And they have their burgers, their sausages, their chicken, their pork, and so on. Here we have it. I'm not sure. They have their ground beefs too, and they sell them in different stores. Actually, they do sell these products at more places than I thought. I've always known that they're way smaller than Beyond Meat, and they are. We can see that now, but they're bigger than I also thought. Because here in the video that I'm going to show you soon, which is about that they're actually stepping in now to the Middle East, which is big time, right? And I think it's big time for the overall industry because we want to see plant-based companies moving into other parts of the world more and more. And Impossible moving into the Middle East here is a great stepping stone, but especially obviously for Impossible Meat itself or foods. But we can see here in the video that actually there are more than 20,000 grocery stores right now and nearly 40,000 restaurants. I think it's about half in total here in total. So 60,000 here, but about half than what Beyond Meat is, right? So, and the question is then, what kind of revenue could we expect that they have? Well, that's really hard to say because since they haven't IPO'd yet, we don't have access to those kind of numbers. But I think they're probably going to IPO by either the end of the year or the beginning of next year because there's been a lot of talk about that, as you can see in some of my videos. But so we'll get more information then. And I think another thing that's important to think about is, even though I do believe that maybe they could challenge Beyond Meat to some extent, they are talking about when they actually start trading then on the NASDAQ that they're going to be around $10 billion, which means if they're going to be about $10 billion, I mean, Beyond Meat right now, I think they're around $6 to $7 billion in valuation. And if they're actually going to be more than Beyond Meat, and we know that Beyond Meat is way bigger and probably has at least, I would say, double revenue. That would make this investment, in my opinion, not that attractive in the beginning. Doesn't mean that the company itself isn't very interesting and doesn't mean it's going to remain there. We saw it with Oatly when they started. They were going to start to trade around $10 billion. It actually went directly to 12 billion, and then they flew up way higher than that. We know it was supposed to open around $17, but it opened at $22 and flew up to $29 within 1 to 2 months. And now we know it's down to $14, right? So it's actually looking much more attractive now. Oatly is a company we're going to talk about soon also. So I thought this video, if you are invested in Beyond Meat and you want to know what's going on with the competition, right, which you do want to, right, or just know what's going on in the overall market, this is a video that I think you should look at, that you're going to see from Yahoo Finance here. So guys, I hope you enjoy it, and let me know, folks, down below in the comments, do you see Impossible being a specific kind of threat to the company? And are you interested in investing in them when they actually get out? Or are you going to wait a little while? Like, I think me personally, I am interested maybe in investing in the company. I haven't decided yet, but if I do, it won't be to a valuation of $10 billion or higher. Before I let you see the video, I just want to remind you, if you want to smash that like button, if you get some value out of this, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, but also quick plug, if you want to join my Discord channel where we talk about plant-based companies like Beyond Meat, and we'll be talking about Impossible Foods, Tattoo Chef, the very good food company in Oatly, to name a few. Make sure to look that up in the description and the pinned comment. All right, guys, enjoy the video. Thank you and peace out.
Arab Emirates is about to get its first taste of the Impossible Burger. The kosher, halal, and gluten-free certified plant-based burger is Impossible Foods' first entry into the Middle East. And joining us now to talk about that push is the president of Impossible Foods, Dennis Woodside. Dennis, always good to see you. So let's start with your choice there in the Middle East, United Arab Emirates. Why did you begin there, and what does this push mean for your brand?
The UAE is really a stepping stone into the Middle East. Over 20 million travelers go through the UAE every single year. And what's upcoming in the UAE is the World Expo beginning October 1st. We're really excited to be participating in that and making Impossible available.
So talk to me about how you think your burger is going to translate there into a different culture where they may, value different tastes and textures in food.
Well, meat consumption in the Middle East is actually quite high and growing. More and more people are moving to a diet that's protein rich. And what's really important is that we offer an alternative to animal products. Animals are very destructive for the environment in the Middle East, very arid climate, not a lot of places to raise animals. So you need to use the land much more effectively for protein consumption and raising plants that can contribute to a growing population that has more of a need for proteins. So we think over time, plant-based meats are going to become more and more important. We're entering with beef. The UAE is a pretty international market with lots of travelers that are accustomed to eating our products elsewhere in the world. So we think that that's a natural place to start, but we do see a market throughout the Middle East for our products, and not just beef over time. Pork and chicken are also broadly consumed in the region.
Yeah, I want to talk more about pork and chicken in a moment, but real quick, I know this is going to be in the UAE in select restaurants there. Are there plans to bring this into grocery stores locally, and when?
Typically what we work with restaurants at first. That's a great place for people to try our product in an environment where that's curated and people have a chance to experience Impossible in different formats. And then we typically enter retail later when people are a little bit more used to the product. So that will come down the road.
Let's talk about faux pork for a minute, because you're going to be entering Hong Kong. I mean, look, the Asian market is very big on pork. This we know. They love their pigs. How is it being received? I know you're really going to be unveiling your products there October 4th, but in terms of just how things are going leading up to that launch, what has it been like for you?
So pork is really important for us. Outside of the U.S., pork is one of the most widely consumed meats. And the news about this product, for the first time ever, a plant-based meat consistently is beating animal meat in consumer tests. So we've done multiple blinded consumer tests, including among consumers in Hong Kong, where we take several hundred consumers, we give them Impossible pork, we give them animal pork. We don't tell them which is which, and we ask them, which do you prefer on taste, on color, on texture, and so forth. And in our latest test, Impossible pork was preferred over the animal 54% to 46%. That's also true with our chicken product. 7 out of 10 consumers in the US preferred that over the animal product. And it's true with our sausage product. 2/3 of consumers that tried that, blinded taste test, preferred that over animal. And all these products, they're not just better tasting, but they're better for the consumer. They're lower in saturated fat. None of them have cholesterol. So consumers are learning, hey, this is an alternative. It's better for me. It's better for the environment. I'm going to try it. I'm going to make it a daily part of my diet. And that's true in Hong Kong as well. We've been in Hong Kong for a couple of years now with our beef product. Most of the restaurants that are serving our beef product are interested in learning more about pork and serving pork. We have a couple hundred restaurants already that are signed up to launch pork. So we're pretty excited about the opportunity throughout Asia, and starting with Hong Kong and Singapore.
Dennis, I'm curious how you there at Impossible Foods are managing price inflation, higher costs for lots of different materials, perhaps ingredients that go into your products. How have you been dealing with it? And also, what's the labor issue like for your company? Are you experiencing any of the labor shortages as many of the other industries are in the restaurant and services industry right now?
So in some ways we're affected, in some ways we're not. Our core ingredients, we've locked in pricing for multiple years, so we don't see short-term fluctuations. However, we have to transport our product, we manufacture our product obviously, and we have been affected by some of the shipping snafus that have affected many supply chains. We've been able to manage through those without any kind of major stock out. As we scale, getting that motion right, making sure that we can ship and manage the logistics of our products is super important, but we've been fortunate so far. Now we have experienced some increased shipping costs. Those are offset though by the reduced costs overall that we're experiencing as we scale our manufacturing footprint and we get more product from the same assets.
I'd imagine it's a last resort kind of scenario, but do you plan on raising prices at the retail level for customers because of it all?
Our strategy has been to reduce prices. So plant-based meats overall as a category are priced higher than their animal analogs today. And that's the way that we're going to build this market and grow this market, is to get our pricing down over time to compete with the animal, compete with the pig or the cow or whatever. And that's the plan. We've lowered prices twice in the last roughly 20 months, about 15 to 20% each time. Each time we lower prices, we see our volume go up. So our strategy is to reduce our unit costs by increasing our manufacturing footprint, running more shifts, getting more product through the same factory, so your unit costs are lower, and then over time passing those unit costs on reductions onto consumers. So we think we're going to continue to go down. It will take time, but that's our plan.
Real quickly, I know you had your soy-based chicken nuggets hit some large retailers this month. How are things going at the moment?
You know, I actually was just at a restaurant nearby and had the chicken nuggets, and they're fantastic. Some of our early operators are reporting selling, 30, 40 servings a day, which is a huge number for any kind of a smaller restaurant. So we think it's a great product. It's very triable. You can share them, and it's a great way to introduce new people who may not have tried Impossible to an Impossible product. We're getting a lot of traction in retail. We expect to be in well over 10,000 retail doors or stores by the end of this year, including the major ones such as Safeway and Walmart and so forth. So we're really optimistic about that product, but we've got a lot more products coming. Remember, our goal is to replace the need for any kind of animal-based product. And if you go into your typical grocery store, there are animal products all over the place, and we're just systematically going and launching new products to get into every place that the animal is in the grocery store and on your menu.
All right, we look forward to more rollouts to come. Dennis Woodside, president of Impossible Foods, thanks so much.